All right, let's get started with these corrections. Everyone should have out their homework 2 and homework 3. If you have your assignment document out, and that can either be in Notability or in Google Docs. Some people have asked about using Google Docs, and that's fine. I just want you to have all of your assignments in the same place, because that's actually what's going to be used for notes, for quizzes, like the one that's going to be on Tuesday, tomorrow. All right, so let's get started with these questions and answers. Homework number 2, question number 1. In relation to Mesopotamia, where did the ancient Phoenicians live? Now let's take a look at some answers that we had. The best answer is just the Phoenicians were located to the west of Mesopotamia. That's it. Number 2. What countries currently occupy those lands? Another relatively easy one. It's right from the book. Phoenicia was in the coastal areas of present-day Lebanon and northern Israel. So that just kind of gives you an idea of where Phoenicia was based on countries today. In the video, they talked about, and there's a short mention of it in the textbook on page 189, but number 3, what color dye did they make famous, and where did it come from? And I think this was probably the best answer I got. The color dye that they made famous was purple dye. And some people kind of gave different answers as to where they got it from, but in the video it actually tells you from these tiny sea snails that excrete I guess something that they were able to turn into this purple dye. All right, number 4. The question was, what business practices did the trading empire make popular? The Phoenicians were well known for trading. In the video, they talk about 2 things, and I think I redirected some people back to the video to get the answer. The Phoenicians made bills of sale popular. A bill of sale is a receipt, and so when you buy something, you get a receipt. They made it popular. The other thing they made popular were contracts. So businesses would agree to do business together, different services and different products that were being made, and they would write a contract. And so that leads us to the last question, which was, how did the Phoenician alphabet contribute to the development of the English language? And so the answer, I think a couple of people tiptoed around it. It comes right out of the book, actually on page 191. If you took that last paragraph in the Phoenician alphabet section and kind of summarized it. So the Phoenician alphabet spread out everywhere. Everybody said, hey, this is a great thing, let's use this. And so the Greeks adapted it and used it as their own. And then from the Greeks, the Etruscans, who later the Romans adapted it from the Greek. And Roman language, of course, is Latin, and Latin is one of the precursors of the English language. And so it was very beneficial that the Phoenicians came up with an alphabet, because they had 22 letters and we have 26. We base our alphabet on their alphabet. They actually show you some of the development of that alphabet on page 190. But those were the first 5 answers. If you would please flip over to homework 2. Let me flip over and see. I need to find the questions. Bear with me a moment while I wait on Canvas. All right, so this is homework number 3, questions on video, and pages 191 to 193. And so, question number 1, where was Lydia located? This was a simple one. Lydia was located in the area northwest of Phoenicia. The ancient land of Lydia was located on the western end of the peninsula that later became known as Asia Minor. Question number 2. Using the terms barter and money economy, describe the changes that took place in the Lydian economy. Some people didn't give a whole lot of effort on this one. It's asking about the changes that took place. Let me find one of the better answers. So long before coin money that the Lydians actually created, most commerce in the world relied on bartering, trading goods, this for this. And the Lydians developed a money economy, and they developed the use of coin money that allowed merchants to set prices for their goods and services. And so it wasn't just a quick little simple answer that some of you tried to get away with. I've been noticing that, especially on homework number 3, a lot of people just kind of gave the shortest, quickest answer they possibly could. You're going to lose points on that in the future. Take the time, find the right answer. You have all the time you need, right? Take your time, find the right answer. This assignment was only 5 questions. It didn't take that long. Number 3 and number 4 tied together, and I don't think everyone understood it. I want to make sure everyone understands what's going on here. So this had to do with what did some unscrupulous people, and I even put in parentheses, if you don't know what scrupulous means, look it up. But what did unscrupulous people do to Lydian coins, and why? And so what they did, some people, some devious, mischievous people, unscrupulous people, began to shave off bits of electrum from the coins. And they did this because the shaved coins were then offered as if they were worth the original value. So it's less electrum in the coin. They're passing it off like it's the original coin, even though they were worth less. And they would take that extra bit of electrum, an extra bit of electrum, an extra bit of electrum, and eventually they could melt that and make another coin from one that did not exist before. They were stealing money. They were cheating. So later on, number 4, the way governments were able to combat that, stop that, the question specifically says, how did later governments stop the practice referred to in number 3? And later governments stopped the practice of the shaved coins by requiring that coins be milled, meaning they be pressed in on the edges. And so the edges would have little ridges in them. And if someone received the coin and it was smooth around the end, you knew that it had been shaved, because from that point forward, all coins were milled. You knew if you were getting a bad coin. And so finally, number 5. Why was Lydia a good target to be conquered? Second part, who first conquered Lydia and when did that occur? Now, in order to get the whole question right, you had to get all 3 parts right. Why was Lydia a good target to be conquered? Well, they had a perfect location. They were right in the middle of the trade. And so actually their location was probably the main reason, the best target for being conquered. The group that first conquered Lydia were the Persians. And let me double check. Yep, that was in 545 BC. And that was, again, the Persians. Okay, so those are your correct answers. When I add the time on this video to the short video you had to watch before this one, I'm going to probably cut you back to about a 5-minute assignment, and so the vocabulary is going to be really short. See ya.